It's Cash Color Campus, a high level of conversation, and this episode is sponsored by Tree 18. You want to get your brand in front of the right audience, then you need to tap in with Tree 18. Tree 18 can help you create unique advertising that helps you stand out. Specializing in creative marketing, brand building, advertising, website, and SEO, as well as public relations. So follow Tree 18 now and see how they can help you reach to a new level. And Dank Seeds, architects of distinct cannabis strains, crossbreds that harness effects that bestow elevated experiences upon those who consume. Cash Color Cannabis will be collaborating with Dank Seeds over the next 4 months on an exclusive vlog series. I can't wait to share y'all more details about that next week, but please just stay tuned for details. And without further ado, we have a newbie in the studio tonight, man. Shout out. And this is somebody who I met. You know what's crazy? How definitely make sure you widen your network. I've met a friend of mine named Matthew a long time ago, man. Matt's a really cool dude. I even remember being in Vegas with him last year, and Matt tapped me on the shoulder. We was enjoying what we was doing at MJ Biz. And he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But he gives me a call one day and says, "Hey, man, you want to come to the house and smoke?" And I'm like, I ain't never been to your crib. Yeah, I'll go over there and smoke with him. And when I got there, I met you. And the person I'm talking about when I say you, if you're listening audio-wise later, is Dustin Hoxworth, editor and publisher of Fat Nugs magazine. Now, I'm shocked to see this man in here because I've seen Fat Nugs on social media before. And I was just wondering, was he visiting in town? And he said, "No, I live here." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." like you
Been
live
here a long time, man.
Get out of here. Bro, I was blown away when you said that because I was like, okay, so now we really got to know each other because there's two magazines about weed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
If that's not the most Atlanta thing.
Right?
That's not the most Atlanta shit ever, man. But yeah, like I say, without further ado, my man Dustin Hoxworth. Dustin, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. Thank you for coming down to the studio tonight. Luckily for us, there's no traffic. Like last week, I think I ran into a soccer match, and it was almost like impossible to go home.
Yeah, I got down here quick, dude. It wasn't bad at all.
You should have been here tonight to Taylor Swift. Like it was almost, yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, just camp out.
I heard all kinds of stories about that.
Just camp out. Just camp
thanks.
out because unless you want to pay $90 to go down the street, it ain't worth it. It wasn't worth it, man.
No
But
thanks.
I got you in tonight because we have shared interests, obviously, with the magazine. You know, I have Cash Color Campus magazine now, and he has been doing Fat Nugs magazine for close to 2 years. And I wanted to talk about the importance of the independent cannabis media. And we know this. We were talking about it off air. There's media outlets in cannabis, but a lot of them are being sponsored by, big money corporations. It's not like
we all know this.
Yeah, it's not unknown. You know what I'm saying? They all being sponsored by that.
Yeah.
But the importance of independent media and being able to share a story that doesn't have to be filtered through 18 different channels is always needed, man.
Yeah.
So let's spark this story off right. But first, you telling us what was your background prior to you doing Fat Nugs?
Oh, gosh, several things, but I came directly from the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Atlanta for a really long time. My best friend happens to be what I call one of the greatest filmmakers in the world. His name's Chris Birdsong, based here in Atlanta, and he pulled me in and kind of showed me what I need to do in the space, and was there for about 3.5, 4 years, and then the pandemic hit, so stepped into to the legal side of, I guess, cannabis at that point,
You ever think about doing when you were working in the film side? You were working behind the camera, just on the camera.
Grip. So cut, color, shade, focus, and direct light.
Oh, okay. You ever think about being a stand-in? Because every time I look at you, I think about Winter Soldier from the Avengers. Like he could easily be Bucky.
Shit. I wish, dude. Shit. Hey, that's a good-looking dude. I don't know who you looking at.
You could easily be Bucky, bro. Like you could be a double.
Oh hell yeah! I would love to do that. You get paid decent money. I'm all right with that.
Man, that's an amazing background, especially down in where we're at in Georgia, because the film industry is booming.
Yeah, and it's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah,
and I was able to work on some of the coolest stuff, and we do all the Marvel stuff down here. You know that we do a lot of TV shows here as well. But I was able to work on some cool stuff like Godzilla vs. Kong. We did The Banker with Samuel L. Jackson, Anthony Mackie, Nicholas Hoult. We did Facebook's first ever series with Catherine Zeta-Jones called Queen America.
Did you meet her?
I did.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. No, and everybody on those shows, I mean, I was on set with all of those folks. So it was good times. It was different.
Does Samuel L. Jackson say motherfucker a lot? Like, is that like a real thing?
I tell you what, I saw Samuel L. Jackson go off on some folks on set, and it's no lie. He doesn't fuck around.
Whoa, I would hate to be there when
I'm not
Samuel L.
kidding.
Jackson is cussing somebody out.
Dude, he's professional, and he expects everybody to be professional. And when you're not on your shit, He let you know.
Joe, you hearing this? Don't get cussed out by Samuel L. Jackson.
He's a nice dude. Now, he'll really just sit in a chair and like read a newspaper, smoke a cigar, chilling on set. But if you're not ready when you're supposed to be ready and on point, he'll tell you.
That man curses in 3D. Like I'd be extremely nervous of it when he just goes, "What you doing, motherfucker?" Like I'd be nervous about that, man. But Fat Nugs is a dope magazine. It's a beautiful magazine. We're gonna get into artwork a little bit later than that.
Thank you.
Talk about how Fat Nugs came to life. Like when did that idea spark into your mind?
Oh gosh, so it was about 2 years ago. It was not quite 2 years ago, but I was sitting on the couch one night, and there's a backstory to this. I mean, it really comes from 3 publications in my childhood. The first one being Thrasher magazine. I was a little skater punk when I was in middle school, so opening that up and seeing a double-page layout of a dude doing a McTwist in your face at that age, I wanted to be that dude.
Yeah.
Mad magazine. When I was walking through the grocery stores with my mom, I'd always remember that, goofy, big-eared, freckled, red-haired dude on the front of Mad magazine. And you could fold pages together and make new scenes, and there was something in there called Spy vs. Spy, and it was just a really cool magazine, so that always stuck out. And then, of course, late 80s, early 90s, High Times.
Yeah.
Of course. And if you had one of those in your hand as a teenager, you were fucking cool. So I think having stuff like that, especially in the 90s, sort of stick out. This publication doesn't really surprise me that I came up with it. But how I came up with it, I was just sitting on the couch one night, stoned, and playing on my phone, and literally just designed the very first cover as sort of, I want to have some fun. I want to talk to my growing network, my connections, in a way that's different and art-driven. And that's how it came about, man.
I love that. We are really simpatico when it comes to like spirits, because that's how I do. When I say I'm sitting in my house sometimes and I just be bored and I'll just start doing stuff.
Looking for a creative dump.
That's literally how so many images you see on our timeline happened. I was literally just in my house bored and I said I feel like doing something, and now dinner at Mary's has these amazing images. Now I remember when O called me about that. He's just sitting there being bored. Creative dump, like you say, man.
Hell yeah. And I've always been sort of a creative person. I don't belong in business settings, to be honest with you. I've written and released 3 albums on my own. I've been in bands pretty much my entire adult life. So I'm always looking for a creative dump of some sort.
Wait. You do music too? Are you a rocker?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. 3 albums I've released on my own, man. I play all the instruments myself. Did all the recording, mix, mastering, all that stuff.
Why did I not know that prior to this show? Because you would have entered into hearing your own music. I would have found that. I definitely would have nardawared that one, man.
Next time.
That's what's up. So I'm trying to, now I want to hear the music. Like, what's your style like?
Oh, wow. It's called post-rock.
Post-rock.
So no lyrics, and it's a lot of sort of scene-driven, I guess, cinematic-driven kind of stuff. Have you ever heard of bands like Explosions in the Sky?
No. Seriously, so he looked at me like, have you ever heard?
No. Okay, here you go. I know you've heard of this, though. What? This is why I ask. Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
That movie.
Yeah.
The entire thing is written by that band.
Really? Okay.
So you've heard of it.
I have heard of it. I just never heard of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so I'm gonna find your music now because he makes good instrumentals. I might use it for some of my Instagram posts.
Good luck, dude.
Joe, we have a mission.
Hey, you can find them everywhere. It's anywhere and everywhere that you can listen to music. I mean, I had a little distribution deal and got my 3 albums out there, so you can look up. It's called Pitch Kettle, Pitch.
Wow.
Kettle. It's all one word, so it's out there.
I've been in contact with this man for a while, and the first time I'm hearing about the rock and roll Dustin is right this second.
Oh, man, I used to play at the Earl all the time. I played all over Atlanta. I used to travel around the Southeast.
He did the dive bars, too.
Oh, yeah.
Was
absolutely.
Really rocking out here.
Oh, yeah. Atlanta used to be my scene. I used to live down here, be down here all the time.
Do you still get it in? Do you still ever want to get that itch?
The last time I get the itch for sure. The last time I wrote anything was back in 2019. That's when I released my last album. It's called Black Postman.
You know what? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I love this for you, man. But you now took some of that creativity and threw it all into Fat Nugs magazine, which again, like I mentioned, amazing magazine. Is really beautiful when you look at the cover. You do a lot of great work with this. Speak to us about how this comes to life every month. You know, like who's the staff you have that's around you? Like how do these stories keep churning out?
So I have a very small team. Most of them are women. Very creative team. All of us sort of do everything together. And I do my best to kind of conduct things as well as I can. So I'm an editor. I also create some of the art. Everyone here is an artist, and they also create a lot of the art that you see. That's both covers and inside. And I think my team I think we have 6 people total on the team. That's it. And all of us are volunteers. We don't get paid to do what we do. We are also not pay to play. So our growth is very slow because we don't take money from big players. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just a collaborative effort of creative people from all across the industry that want to be heard, want to be seen, that don't have the outlets that they deserve. And so I'm trying to provide that for them.
Yeah, and you're doing a really, really great job with that, and I think it's cool that you have a small staff. Like you really have a small, dedicated staff at that, because like you was mentioning before, it's not a situation where everybody's getting a check every single month for this. You're doing it because it's for the love. You definitely have not only a love of writing, but you have a love of writing about cannabis.
Yep, it's all about cannabis. So we're plant focused first, and our number one goal is to uplift the plant into its rightful place in the society.
Yeah,
we do that. And we're sort of known as, well, this is how I describe us, the global perspective of cannabis and stoner culture as a bridge to the rest of the world. And with that goal of uplifting the plant into its rightful place in the society, what we do is support and uplift small mom and pop, equity, legacy, veteran, and women-owned cannabis businesses and voices. And practically, we do that through excellent storytelling, authentic journalism, and badass art.
Yes.
That's how we do it.
Yes. And circling back to the journalism part, a friend of mine, Veronica Castillo. You have Veronica, and Veronica, if y'all don't know, V is the traveling writer. She goes from place to place, almost like Method Man and Belly, like I'll go Dolo from state to state.
She's a badass.
And she just covers everything. And you had her out in Montana. It's a place I say out loud, I probably never ever will go to, but you had her out in this crazy state.
Wait, why, dog? Why?
There's certain places I think of when I say it out loud. I say I probably will never go there. Like I remember when I emailed you, I said North Dakota, because North Dakota is one of those places I'm pretty sure I'd never, ever
I've been there.
up in.
I drove, so I don't know if you know Standing Rock. You ever heard of Standing Rock?
Yeah.
So I did a big fundraiser here with my best friend, who is the film creator.
Yes.
So we did a really large drive, like tents, goods, right? So food, gas, axes, supplies for people to make it through the winter in North Dakota. We raised $4,000. We did this outside of the Earl. We set up outside the Earl and did this whole push over a weekend. We collected a trailer and truck full of stuff, $4,000, and drove it from here to North Dakota.
How long was that drive?
3 days.
Yeah, see.
3 days.
That's a drive.
It's crazy, dude.
That's a drive.
But that was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Yeah, I bet it's a beautiful state. It's just one of those places, again, I don't see myself just saying, let's go to North Dakota.
Yeah, I never wanted to.
But V went to Montana, and it was a whole issue dedicated to it, the Big Skies issue.
Yeah, so it was the travel edition right here.
There.
And it has, I think it's like a 14-page spread from her. And we were able to partner up with a lot of brands in the state, really driven by Sinful Beverages and James Stevens. They got all the brands together that they could to sponsor her travel, paid for the food, the flights, and for a photographer, all of it. We're there for about 10 to 12 days, I think, and met people, interviewed, and just learned about the culture that the state has. And she ended up writing a badass piece, and
Yeah.
there you go. It drove the main part of the travel edition.
Yeah, and it was a dope concept. I thought, and I'm gonna take that back. Norfolk Dakota, I may go. Like, I don't want to disrespect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I may go one time, but again, I just been on this earth for a couple of years, and I've never thought about going. But yeah, I can see myself. I'm a tourist from this perspective. When I get to the place, I want to know what's naturally happening. Like, I don't want to go to tourist spots. So
Yeah.
I now picture myself going to Montana and say, take me to some Montana shit.
Yeah, but there's also Yellowstone is there, so it's worth going.
Okay, Dustin's selling this pretty well. So yeah,
Montana is one of the most beautiful states that we have, man, and weed is legal. So
that part.
why
That
not
part.
fucking
I mean,
go,
there was a
dude?
reason she went. She didn't just go
Yeah.
because she felt like it. Like, she's a warm person too.
Yeah.
She lives in Florida.
Exactly.
She didn't just jump in her mind and say, "I need to be in Montana."
And
today."
it was still chilly.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I wonder. I love to ask her that question because I never asked her. What was it like going from Florida to Montana, and did you bring enough clothes?
Yeah, she was cold.
Yeah.
I know she was cold. She told me.
Oh gosh, man! But it turned into a beautiful magazine and an amazing issue. And I stressed beautiful because, again, if you're listening audio-wise, I need y'all to go to their website or go to their Instagram page and see what I'm talking about. The cover art is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to this conceptual, because everything is absolute artwork. Like when I say it's almost like paintings that you're doing with these covers. What made you want to start with that kind of concept? Like, because something like that is very hard to maintain.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I try to up the last one every single time we do this. So I put immense amounts of pressure on both myself and the team to really come up with something unique. And, when I first started this, I was doing all the art myself, all of it. I was doing everything that I could to drive this thing. When I was able to finally have a small team, bring in an art director, Rebecca Jenks, and a few other people that have really helped, that's when things really started to get super unique and very cool and different and things that you've never really seen before. So what happened was, and there's several different ways that we create these things. A lot of the base pieces, most of the base art is driven by AI. So almost everyone on the team can use AI very well. People think that AI is easy and that it's bullshit.
No, it's not.
Trust me. Go and try it. See if you can create some shit like this and
No, it's
people
not.
actually care about it, right?
No, it's not.
So from that base piece, I usually take that and do everything that's normally cannabis driven on it. So for instance, this was made by Casey Renteria, the base piece, the face, and anything that's cannabis related you see on it was added digitally through digital art things by me.
I love that too, the legacy edition. You get the concept by looking at the magazine. It's so dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you nailed it. Yeah. So every single edition has a theme. Mm-hmm. So for instance, right now we're working on the music edition. We're gonna have to come up with something that says this is music without it being so overtly in your face and weak, right? We want people to think. We want, when you look at it, we want it to be something memorable, not just a guitar, not just some drums, not just a dude playing something.
Not just Willie Nelson.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody can do that. You can go get a photo or take a photo of someone. Like, I want something created that is original and it drives thought when you look at it. It's that simple. And that's what we do with all of these. I mean, if you look at any of, you can look at any of our editions and you'll see that when you look at the cover, it tells the story of what's inside.
I love that. I love that. Creativity is needed in this space, just like print media is needed in this space, even though plenty of people feel like print is dead. When you decided to go the print route, were you nervous about that statement that people like to push around, that nobody reads anymore?
No. So I actually built this thing because of that. When people tell me they don't read, I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to make some dope-ass art for you to look at. And guess what? While you're looking at that art, I'm going to give you some shit to read too. And that happens. So there's a way to use that, in your favor. But going to print didn't really scare me. I thought it was a necessity. Print is excellent when it's niche.
Yes.
If you can find your niche, find your audience, people will follow you, people will pay attention, they'll support you, they'll want to be a part of it, all of that kind of stuff. Especially if you're doing something that's authentic to whatever industry you're in, and you're authentic to your background and your voice and the things that you're pushing and uplifting and supporting, all of that stuff, when people see that you're doing good work, it's authentic, you care about the things that you do, that's what happens.
Yes.
Is people start to enjoy the niche publication you've got going on.
You've got a point because you know Cream magazine. Cream magazine came back to life a little while ago, and I followed them because when I was at South by Southwest the year before last, I saw one of their shows, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Cream still exists. But Cream is a good example of that. They know their niche, and they cater to it in a really unique way, and it's a respected brand. So it's something that could not be around for so long that we can come back because that niche is still here. There's still those people who want to hear indie rock, pop, indie punk rock. They want to hear this, and they want to know who's next.
Yep, absolutely. That's a perfect example. Something else I try to do with this is, even though we're niche, I want to make sure that the people that are outside of this niche, the community, the culture and industry of cannabis, can connect with this thing.
Yeah.
How you do that is through personal stories. When you're telling people's stories, their backgrounds, and you're talking about your 2-year-old at home takes a broad spectrum product at night to control seizures, or your 89-year-old grandmother at home is sitting in her rocking chair smoking a fat ass blunt for her rheumatoid arthritis. That's when you connect with people outside of the niche. That's when you can tell those stories that other people can connect with. That's when we're winning and we're uplifting this plant into its rightful place, dog.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. He's speaking my language. He's spitting right now. Now, from the same perspective, though, I think we go through some of the same issues. It's hard for me, and I told you this earlier, it's very hard for me to take money from certain places because of the conversation I started. Like, I've started this conversation based around a marginalized group of people. I've based this conversation around how can we amplify these conversations that's been going on for so long. What is hard for me to do is take money from these major companies who I know don't care about any of that narrative, man. Talk about that struggle, because you do the same exact thing.
Yeah. So I draw a line in the sand with the publication. It's because of the way that I grew up, who I grew up with, and we don't have to get into all that, but basically anyone who has ever been associated with or connected with lobbying against home grow and caregiver rights, not allowed to be here.
No.
You're not allowed to advertise with us. We won't tell stories about you in this publication. You can carry this publication, and we would love you to. We would love for you to be a part of, helping that community and culture side be a part of the industry more. So we welcome that. But, that line in the sand for me is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So I don't take money from those players. I've actually had to push back already and say no to a couple of them. We've talked about this. We won't name any names.
No.
But it's an interesting space to play in when you have some ethics and morals in cannabis right now, because the big players are the ones with all the cash.
Yeah.
And they can throw it around and make people sort of forget some things. Is it fair for them to be able to do that? No, I don't think it is. I think they're sort of robbing their investors. I think they are using their money in ways that it's not helpful for the plant at all. It's not helpful for the industry overall. It's very greedy-esque, sort of how things have always done in this, have always been in this country, right? Yeah. And we're trying to build something different here. So I have to be able to say no to the people, just, your dilemma, right? Yeah. I have to be able to say no to the people that I know that are not doing any favors to anyone in this industry. They're not helping really uplift this industry, the community and culture side of this industry either. They don't really have any respect, as far as I can tell, for anyone that has really been plant side before all of this, right? Our legacy or traditional side of things. So, and those are just from my interactions. Stories I get all the time are insane from what I've been told, So there are a lot of reasons to not support certain businesses, companies, corporations in this space. And it's really not that hard to distinguish. It's really not. It sucks to not be able to use that money, because it can really help. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
$15,000, $20,000, $25,000 here and there from some of those big players that I would have already had to push back would be enormous for us. But it would also be disrespecting my family, the way that I grew up, my friends. I'm just not going to fucking do it.
I feel you. And I told you, the thing that scared me the most, and I'm somebody who doesn't read comments. Like, I don't read social media comments at all. I feel like that's the worst way of that's the worst thing for a creative, is to read comments.
Yeah.
But I felt like if I would have took that situation and I would have took that money, within days, I would have woke up to comments of, what the fuck did you just do?
Oh, yeah, you lose your name.
Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah.
Like that. You basically sold your credibility.
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't exist anymore.
Especially if you've been bagging on that shit, right?
Exactly.
If you're the one who has been pointing all this crap out, and then all of a sudden you're like, I guess I'm okay with it because they threw me a $10,000 check.
Exactly.
That's called sellout.
Bro, it's like me wearing drug lord shirts, and all of a sudden the Reagan Foundation want to kick in money. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm no longer wearing this shirt.
So
it's clear.
There is a little bit of a so there's also a thought that I have that at some point we also have to allow these corporations, these people that are running these businesses, to maybe learn.
Yeah.
To I don't know, atone, whatever you want to fucking call
grow.
it.
I mean, you got to give people space to grow. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it would be nice. And I've seen them actually, I've seen some big players in this space bring in new management, new leadership, and start to do some of the right things. I'm not even going to say who that is, because that's not fair. But at the same time, I don't see any of that happening very often. But I would like to see more of it. I would be more accepting of these people. I would love to have some conversations with the CEOs of these big companies and be like, yo, here's what's actually going on in the world of cannabis, if you would like to know, and how you could be helpful. Whether they would tell me to piss off or whether they give a shit at all.
It's that part. Would I be able to have an unfiltered conversation? Like, am I going to sit down and your publicist is going to give me 10 pages of things that I can and can't say?
Oh, we're not doing that.
Then I'm not doing it.
We're not doing that.
It's not worth it.
No. We have a, look, to CEO, if you can't just fucking speak to me, I have nothing to say. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, and it's really, it's not a difficult place to be able to turn down that money. It just sucks to have to turn down money.
Always, man, especially when you have morals. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do this. I want to take this check. But again, if I do this, I know for a fact it changes it reverses 7 years of work.
I lose everything. You lose all credibility. I would just be pissed at myself. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You got to go write a song about it.
I got to smoke about it. That's what's up.
Got to bring this to life, man. So what's next for the magazine? Like, what are some of your plans as far as growing the magazine and evolving the brand overall of Fat Nugs?
Yeah, great question. So updating the website, doing some really cool stuff there to actually represent who we are as a full media company, not just a publication. Really focusing in on trying to get distribution. There are a lot of reasons to carry this publication, in my view, in my eyes, I guess. And I won't go into all that. I won't sell this thing, but those are really the two big ones. From there, it's really focusing on just continuing to create the next edition with great journalism and dope ass art. Yeah. That's really what we're focused on. And, sales is always going to be here, trying to bring in advertisers, all that stuff, just like everybody else has to do. So, that's no surprise. But really the secret is, that sauce is really making sure that you can pull the right writers. Yep. You can talk about the right subjects in the right way, and then have some cool ass art. And that's what's ahead of us. Are there
any subjects that you're thinking about covering that you haven't? Like I mentioned back there that my third issue, we had the story about unionization. I told you how that went. the unionization story. What are some stories that you're thinking about covering, for the magazine?
So, and really that's going to be edition focused, right? Okay, so the editions that we have coming up kind of dictate the things that will be sharing that I've never shared before. So the music edition, never really shared anything specific about music, so to speak, in any of our editions, really. A health and wellness edition. So we're going to talk about, hopefully, cannabis and health and wellness.
Oh,
in
yeah,
some
you're going
way.
to Jamaica. Yeah, please talk about that.
Yeah. We can definitely talk about that. And that's actually one thing that's going to go into the health and wellness edition. And it'll be sometime around the new year, hopefully. Just makes sense, right? So we got invited as a media group to go down to a place called Coral Cove and Coral Cove Wellness. And they do plant wellness. They have a dispensary on site. They do sound baths and massages and, all of that stuff. And they invited us as a media group. I'm taking the entire Fat Nugs magazine team. There's like 14 of us, us and our, spouses or husband, wife, whatever you want to call them these days. And we'll be there for a week, just kind of learning what they do. And what's really cool is our team consists of ganjiers. I have several writers, photographer, my best friend who is, because the industry is on strike.
He's coming with you.
He's my photographer.
He does have time.
Exactly. He's got some time
Yeah,
on his hands.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a really cool thing. And then we're going to do, just like Veronica did in the travel edition, probably 10, 12, 14-page spread on Coral Cove Wellness.
Where's Coral Grove in Jamaica? What city?
Coral Cove is...
Coral Cove, excuse me.
So you fly into, oh my goodness.
Montego
Bay, and then it's toward Negril.
Towards Negril.
Yes.
Okay, so I was in Negril last year.
Okay.
Let me give you a place that you definitely need to check out while you're out there.
All right.
So I took a trip to Orange Hills. So Orange Hill they call it the Mecca of cannabis in Jamaica. And it's hills. I'm gonna tell you right now, because I took my wife with me, and I think she thought it was a joke at first, because you could tell by the shoes she wore. She's not climbing up this hill with me. You have to climb all the way up to this hill because these legacy growers out there had to grow the weed on the
side of the mountains.
Yeah, so the police couldn't get up there.
Yeah.
So when you get up there and literally you stand on top of this mountain, you see
Fucking
just
badass.
acres of weed.
That's badass, dude.
Tap in with Token Tourism and have them take you up to Orange Hill. It's definitely an amazing thing.
So if it's on that side of Jamaica, they have a trip planned for us to go to a grow.
Okay.
It might be that. I'll check it out and ask for
You
sure,
will love
dude.
Orange Hill. Orange Hill is a place, right when you get to you'll realize every single person in this neighborhood grows. Like,
yeah,
it's just a thing they do.
That's awesome.
But they definitely grow them on hills. So you got to climb, you got to get prepared. And they don't make it easy for you because they don't make it easy for the police. So there's no stairs and nothing like that.
Yeah.
If you look at some of my videos, you'll see me climbing like step by step. And the crazy part is, especially being half high, going up is never the problem.
Oh, yeah,
it's
down
coming
sucks.
back down high the same way you went up. And having to rethink all that. And when I got down there, my wife was sitting in the van like, I took 2 looks at that and I knew you don't need me up there.
Yeah, for real.
But you'll love it. You'll love Jamaica.
Yeah,
Jamaica
I've
is
never
dope,
been.
man.
I've never been, dude. So I'm looking forward to this.
Enjoy jerk chicken, jerk pork.
Hey, they fresh catch everything.
Oh, yes.
They also grow everything on site as well. So you pick your own veggies and all that, dude.
If you're at a resort, be aware. I don't know if you've ever been to, if you've probably been to a gas station, occasionally people run up to you and say, we got weed.
Okay.
If you go on the beach, there's going to be somebody who's going to walk up to you and say, brother, got the herb. And if you say I'm good on weed, you may hear, I got a whole bunch of other shit.
Okay, fair enough.
I got a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's all right. By the way, Coral Cove also does psilocybin ceremonies and things of that nature. Yeah. So again, it's all plant-based wellness stuff.
Have you shroomed? Have you mushroomed?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is mushroom? Did I use that as a verb? Have you
Oh,
shroomed?
yeah, dude. So my very first mushroom experience was back in 1995.
Oh, I'm still terrified to even. I have a mushroom capsule. I'm terrified of taking.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, cause boy, let me tell you something.
What?
And this is where the DARE program got me. In high school, if I was a senior in high school, I used to play basketball, and they had this guy come and talk about going to rehab and the drug problem he had, and he talked about going into a sauna, and he said, "So I'm clean, and I went to this sauna, and he said I sat in this sauna." And he sat there for a couple of minutes. He said, next thing you know, Mickey Mouse was sitting across from me.
Oh, shit.
He said everything he ever did started coming out in sweat. So he said, I'm in this sauna, and Mickey Mouse is here, and the room starts spinning. He said it was acid, it was coke, it was weed, everything was pouring out. I always think about that when I think about a mushroom trip. Like, I don't want to just be sitting here, and next thing you know, like, Ted is talking to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a real-ass conversation.
I mean, obviously you can control your dosage,
Yes.
right? And my very first one was, I had the out-of-body experience, my very first one, and I was like, holy shit. But it was I was glad I did it that way.
Yeah.
Because I was never scared of it going forward.
Okay.
I consume psilocybin now, and really in mushroom form because I like whole plant medicine. I'll eat the chocolates as well, but usually every 3 to 4 months, I'll do somewhat of a reset. So take 1 gram to 2 grams or so and just kind of laugh and giggle and enjoy music and be stupid. That's it, man.
Man, so
It's super chill.
Dustin is definitely a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So we have the out of body. Let me be Jim Morrison in the desert right now.
Oh, and during that trip, I ended up sitting in the middle of a big outdoor volleyball court at Georgia Southern in Statesboro. That's where I went to college, by the way. And there was about 30 people in a circle around me, and I was telling stories. I mean, I was tripping balls, dude. That night, I also fell in the pool, hit my head, pulled my hair out. People were like, "Oh my God, it was crazy!" It was a huge party.
Long story short,
it was pretty crazy, dude.
See, okay, and again, I can hear Stanley, I can hear Oski, I can hear so many people in the background saying, "Mac, trust me, it's a safe thing." And then I hear your story.
Here's the problem. So we made mushroom Kool-Aid, basically. It was tea.
Liquidy.
Yeah. So I didn't understand the potency, and I was just like, "Woo, this is great!" And then 20 minutes later, it's like, "Holy shit, this
I'm in a
is
Simpsons
great."
episode.
Craziness, definitely out of body stuff, but very cool. But yeah, now as an adult, I understand that it's real medicine.
Yeah.
And use it as such.
Yeah, well, you're gonna enjoy your time in Jamaica. Hopefully, you can go to Orange Hill. You want to see where the legacy growers are.
Yeah, I would
definitely
love
want to take a chance.
I would love to see grows on the side of a mountain. That would be great, man. Especially in Jamaica, that would be dope.
Oh,
but
yes.
just to continue on with what we're doing, some of the ideas, some of the stuff that we've covered that we've never covered before.
Yep.
Sports.
Okay.
So you all were talking sports earlier. That's another one. So being able to cover cannabis and sports. I was an athlete. I went to college and played volleyball at Georgia Southern University. I played sports my entire life. So cannabis and sports go really well with my own person, so I can talk about that a lot. But I've never really published anything on that subject. So that's something we would like to do as well.
It's about that time, man. Well, you're doing a great job growing this brand. Like I said, I love it.
Thank you.
I loved it the minute you gave it to me. Matter of fact, it's one of them things where, and I this is how I show love to creatives. When I first got the magazine, I said, "Fuck." Yo, I love this cover. I was so upset because this was so dope.
Which one was it? Was it the it was probably the BIPOC edition, the February edition.
It was. It was because I was like, I remember looking at, because I still got it in my house. Matter of fact, we still got a couple of issues over here. That one, I literally yelled "fuck." I yelled "fuck." I was like, damn. I love this.
You know what? This was one of the few that we actually had a sponsor on, which was Quick Liquids.
Okay.
From here on out, we have never had another sponsor. We haven't been able to get a full sponsor from the industry. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive.
No.
It's one of those things where I'm surprised at that. But it also makes the cover better when I don't have a sponsor. So I've been loving it, to be honest
love
with
it,
you.
man. If you can give advice to someone who wants to get into this print media side of things in a digital world that we are in, what advice would you give them?
Don't do it. No, honestly, it's if you have a cause, if you believe in something, and you can turn that into media, publication, digital publication, something.
Yes.
That makes sense to me. Doing this from a place where your only focus is sort of that end result of whatever that is, making $1, whatever.
You're going to lose quickly.
You're going to lose, dude. You need to be sort of authentically in your niche that you are sharing, right? If you're producing something in a niche, and you aren't completely buried in it, you're screwing yourself. Yeah. So really it's about being authentic, connecting with the right people. Being positive and uplifting is huge, especially when it comes to media. There's so much negative bullshit that is pumped out through media. I'm not kidding, dude. If you can be positive and uplifting and uplift others, that's how people connect with you these days. So that's my advice. Connect with others, be positive, and be authentic in your space.
You heard the man. This is my man, Dustin Hoxworth. He came through, made his first appearance on Cash Color Cannabis. I thank you for coming out tonight and sharing your story.
Thank you, bro.
I'm definitely going to go find your music later.
I'm so sorry, dude.
Matter of fact, that's going to be the day I'm going to do mushrooms. I'm going to wait to find your music.
Oh, shit.
And then I'm going to go on a shroom trip and see where this takes me. Dustin, I really appreciate you coming by. Again, I'm a supporter of Fat Nugs. I think you're doing an amazing job. And thank you for keeping independent media going.
Thank you, man. Independent media is where it's at. You're only going to get good stories, good journalism, authentic journalism. If you're looking for that, that's where it is. Independent media. Support it.
Thank you so much for coming through. And that is Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation. And this episode was sponsored by Tree 18 and Dank Seeds. We're out.